So this is another harvesting of data, this time with Finviz Detailed Ticker Information. Since I already have the list of tickers, I just need to extract more data regarding that ticker symbol. So there's 10,726 tickers to harvest, and there's about 84 items per ticker. The 84th item is actually the company description. 83 items, I have a specific labels that I'm looking for. So some companies actually don't have those labels, so there's no data because they have other kinds of labels. But I need to make a decision to stick with those labels so that there's no mix-up. So for example, if I'm looking for the ROA, return of assets, then it needs to be all return of assets, or if it's or dividends or something like that. So it needs to be, the values that should be entered in this column should be all the same, should be in regards to that label. So that's why some will have no data because it has different kinds of labels. And so extracting this data is actually similar to Finviz Screener because I do not have access to tables anymore. I have to once again save that as a web page and then convert it to text and then narrow it down to the table, and then the macro will then just enter. It will look at the label that I have entered in there, and then it will enter the values for that label. So it's actually much simple. So this time the parsing is so simple because I already have those. It just has to enter what the values given the label. So it's just a much simpler parsing method compared to the Finviz Screener, in which I first has to be able to get the industry, which is in the first sentence, and it should be from the right, scanning from the right. So first it has to break it down by 3 sentences, and first the industry in order to get the company name. So there's so many sequences that needs to be done. That one is much more complex. This one is very straightforward. So yeah, and then I just made a minor mistake in the UI. I forgot to take into consideration the numbers that are over 10,000, so it looks weird. It has the pound sign, so it's not formatted well. And I also just kind of did it in a hurry, so I didn't do a flexible fonts sizing in the previous. But it's okay, because the 10,000 is only towards the end. There's only like 261 items. But I fixed that. So if I wanted to do a harvest again, it should only take 2 hours. It take 2 hours because of the 1 second pause. And it should have the correct format now. So I also have a UI dashboard for previewing the data. So we can also just look at the data, one by one, or you can do a play button. It will, replay all. But you can also just enter the number, and you should be able to get the information for that recorded data. The table can only display 30 at a time, 30 items. You'd have to change the first number. So if you want to go to the next page, enter 31. So the default is 1. When you go to 31, next, and then 61 or something like that. So yeah, And there's a lot, 84 items, so there's a lot of things we can do with this. You know, so many, like you have to start, you know, thinking about what kind of filter, so many things to filter, to sort. So